Hello guys, welcome to Mark's Shrimp Tanks. Today we're going to be doing a shrimp room tour. I didn't have a video for this week, so I thought I'd do a tour video. I actually do have a lot to show you guys, and I think what we'll do today guys as well is we'll actually try and do this a little bit faster. I know some of my videos kind of go on a little bit, like I recently made a video that was like 40 minutes that I don't think I will put on YouTube. It is just a little bit too drawn out, right? So whatever the topic was for that subject, I'll redo into a shorter video. Right, so today, let's have a look at the tanks. We're going to divide this up as well guys. We're going to divide it up into three because I have basically three different racks. We have the rack over here, on this side with the tank there, the calcio. We have our other rack here, so this will be rack 2 and rack 3 over this side, right? And there's been quite a few changes. If you have a keen eye, you will notice everything I've done. Right, and all these things I've done guys has been for a purpose. Let me get this straight off the bat straight away, and that is I put a video out about a month ago, or maybe a little bit longer, I can't remember exactly. Sometimes guys I make videos and I do them off the cuff, right, and it's not always the best way to do something, right? So the name of that video was the power pump one that I did. I think it was just the second last video, but for me that would have been probably a month and a half, 2 months ago, something like that. The issues with that pump specifically were it was running warm when the water was down low. So for us guys, that is just, it's not a solution to the problem of pumping the water to the tanks, right? So I actually fixed that, and the actual best way I can think about doing this guys, and I will make another video on this as well because this is probably worth me doing another video for, and that is to use the power that's in our tap here to get water away up here. And you guys are like, wait Mark, but you use reverse osmosis. Yes I do. This tap water here under the sink goes to a reverse osmosis unit, then it's pumped away up here and it goes to our new reverse osmosis water containers, right? So these guys are 55 litres each, right? So I was only ever using about 90 litres in this tank here. This will be made redundant for this room, but it doesn't mean to say I won't ever use it when we move, for example. But guys, this way so far is the creme de la creme of ways to do it for water changes. That's the easiest way possible. Right, you guys will want to know, so I'll try and explain this very fast. As we said, we use tap water. There's pressure in the tap water. The pressure gets forced through the reverse osmosis unit, up all the piping, and to these containers, right? We said that before. So we don't actually need a pump at all, right? And the benefit of having the water up high as well, I talked about this briefly in another video, is up here in the room it's much warmer. It's actually physically noticeable on your hand. If I go up there in the chair and I put my face up here, I'll notice the difference in the heat. These tanks take less than a day to heat up to room temperature. Before they were taking a couple of days, and this thing, because it's on the floor. The other things as well is now I just have to do a siphon from these top tanks into the tanks, right? So let me show you over here as well. Let's do this a little bit quicker. Let's go. So this is what the setup looks like up high. A couple of ball valves. This one's still on. This water was filled up this morning, but it's actually warm enough for me to use now as well. So it is a big improvement, guys. These are food safe, cold safe, dishwater safe, recyclable containers, right? So once I do a video of these guys, I'll actually share with you where I got these containers as well, because they're actually really good. It actually has on them that they're dishwasher safe to 120 degrees Celsius. Oop, how can it go possibly that hot? Who has a dishwasher that big, right? So guys, anyway, this is the setup I'm going for. I'm going backwards guys because I want you to see the whole setup now. This type of racking with this kind of setup on the top, right? So as we said just there, one of these has, I actually marked on it soft water, hard water, and the amount of salt, TDS, all that kind of good stuff, right? But just say for example guys, if I use all my hard water, the next day I let it fill up, I can use it for soft water as well. I just have to remember that I do things. So there is the improvement with our water change system. and I think it is a massive improvement. I actually did all this rock yesterday, and more or less all this rock as well yesterday, just from those 2 containers up there. So that's about 90 litres of water. I did all those water changes, right? So today I'm just waiting on this filling up, and then we'll go back over and we'll do this rock. Alright guys, let's get on to the rocks. I'm going to start over here because I always start in this corner, even though we just talked about it. Let's start over here because there's changes here as well. I don't want this video to be too long. We're already at 5 minutes. Let's see, what can I say about this tank that's changed? Not really much. I'm doing regular water changes in my tanks. I think, guys, as well, I probably don't do enough as I say I do. Let's have a little look. What is it? This was done on the 11th. I'm trying, guys, to do them every week, so this one's actually due for water change again. So I'll probably do that today. In here we have our fancy tigers, red tigers. They're doing good. They're not doing as good as I wish they were, because this tank, when we first got all our shrimp in our bigger batch of shrimp shipment, when we got all of them like a few months back, this tank was one of the first ones that started to do well. But right now, guys, it's probably the one that's not doing the best out of all my tanks. The shrimp are still in here, they're still breeding. If I was to do a rough count, this is what I do every day in my tanks, is I do counts on the shrimp that are visible in the tank. And once I get up to like 100, I just stop counting. But this tank is maybe about 25, 30 shrimp. Now, we've had this tank, we've had this shrimp for a few months, and they have had 2 or 3 batches of babies that I've seen. So there should be more babies in here than we're seeing, which is, I'm probably just being a little bit too lazy with my water changes, right? So that's something that needs to change. Other things as well, I noticed like the plants, they're still a little bit yellow, so they could probably do with a teeny bit more fertilizer. Same with some of the Java ferns and stuff like this, for example. That is just not growing, it's never grown in this tank. A little bit yellow on the crypt at the back there, so this tank needs a little bit more fertilizer. I do notice that with Akadama, guys, that it works better with a little bit of fertilizer. Beautiful female up here. Let's see, let's go into the next tank underneath. This tank is my mixed Pinto tank here. I do apologise for the glare. I'm kind of trying to do this fast, guys, today, just to give you an idea what the tanks and stuff look like. Briefly talk about the tank itself. It is 60 litres. This one gets 10% water change every week. It's absolutely full of babies, but it wasn't always like this, guys. This was one of the problem tanks. Remember, if you go back in my videos, you will see this was one of the tanks that the shrimp were just not breeding at all. They are now, which is good. I can see babies all over the place in this tank. Lovely, lovely little red ones, goldens, blue bolts, loads and loads of babies. My Galaxy tank is doing really, really well as well. This tank has had probably, I don't know, 50 shrimp taken out of it already. Lots and lots of little babies here. Guys, what I'll do is I'll add some macro footage as well to the tank here, because this GoPro, you just won't see anything at all. 10% water change every week when I remember. So like this one is what, the 11th of the 2nd here, so this one is due for a water change as well. But I am noticing a little problem with this tank, guys, and that is, just ignore that squint filter at the back. It keeps on coming off the wall, and that is, I only really have probably 3 proper Galaxy fishbones in this tank, right? So I want this tank to be a Galaxy fishbone tank. Now, a lot of the young that are being born is I just can't see any Galaxy fishbones at all, none of them, right? So I'm thinking maybe we should take out, it's going to be a lot of work actually, because there's so many babies in here. If I took out all the babies, took out all the blues, and just let the Galaxy fishbones breed with each other, maybe we'd get more only Galaxy fishbones, but I don't know. This is something I'll have to go into more in detail. Lovely red root floaters. My King Kong Extremes, or yes, my King Kongs, red King Kongs. There is one red King Kong Extreme. These guys were fed yesterday as well, so a lot of teeny top babies in here. This again was a tank that was struggling, but now I can see that it's not. I can see babies all over the place. Lots and lots of growth. Aqua Synergy, that's the little fertilizer thing I use. Look at the plant growth, that is insane. So this is one of the tanks that's getting better and better. Or the German spotted Pintos, no adults visible. I just put food in. Maybe I'm feeding them a little bit too much. I think I fed them yesterday as well. There's lots of babies in the dish. Teeny tater tot babies. Tangerine tigers. You can see what I actually fed them yesterday, guys, was zucchini as well. Tangerine tigers, that's the Wassertang, is doing lovely in there, isn't it? My pandas are doing really, really good actually. They had a very hard start in life. We got a bag of 10. Most of them didn't survive. That's just shit happens, guys, when you get a bag of shrimp. Sometimes the one or two of them die in the bag and it can affect the whole bag. So we only realistically had 2 or 3 shrimp left in this tank, but they have recovered, right? So it will be like another month or 2 and you'll start to see all the babies properly. If you watch my streams, you could probably see the start of them as well. I think it was the first time I showed them on my stream was like 2 weeks ago. But they've had loads of babies. They've actually had little babies like this you probably can't see, and they've had another batch of micro babies I can see in there. Like I see a lot of them in the gravel. This one's needing a little bit of a clean. It actually did get quite a nice water change yesterday, 17th of the 2nd. Just needs the algae to be removed. Guys, this is one of the big things in the room. Where is the cold tub? It is gone. Cold tub is gone, guys, because it was basically a place for me to put all the shrimp that I didn't really want to see in my tanks, and all the plants and stuff, and there was things in there that I want to see, like my crayfish and that. And guys, so I just moved them all. I did away with the tank. So this is where I keep my Indian almond, my Wassertang. This whole area is much cleaner though, that you can see. Isn't it nice? Much cleaner. There was so much crap at the back here. Oh my god, guys. Pothos had grown, died, and it was just all over the place here. Some little banana plants, you would have seen them on my stream as well. Let's get over to this tank. I'm going to start on the bottom because this is probably one of the biggest changes in the room. And that is my painted fire red tank is now my cold tub. This is the tater salad rehoming center in this tank, right? I just see a little orange eye blue tiger on that filter. When I was doing this, guys, there is 4 adult crayfish. If you could just see over the top of that little brick there, you can probably see the male that's in there. I've actually pulled all this Wassertang into these little caves, right, so that's why you can't see them. But you'll see them in future videos. They're lovely. Yeah, this tank took quite a while to do. And guys, I don't always film everything I do in the shrimp room simply because my back is so bad. I started to film me doing this stuff and I didn't even get 1 bucket of water out of the cold tub and my back was literally snapping to the point I couldn't walk straight around. And so it's what it is. I can't always film stuff, which is crazy, guys, because I have a YouTube channel and you guys probably would love to see. Look at all the cherry shrimp up there. All the, yeah, because this was the painted fire red tank and I didn't have any real issues about making this my new tater salad cold tub rehoming center because the painted fire reds weren't proper painted fire reds anymore. Sometimes, guys, you can let things go for far too long, and that's what I did. Just like this video, it's getting on a bit. Let's, Mark, get your finger at your butthole. Crystal tank, guys, are doing okay. This is on a plan for me to try and get them to breed a little bit more. Simply, guys, right, simply put, the plan for doing this kind of stuff, right, if you have a struggling tank, is to simply do more water changes, do a bigger water change, just keep on dripping the tank like you always do, and the shrimp will eventually come good as long as you don't overfeed them. As long as you don't put the water back in too fast, you'll have more and more babies will survive, right? So here's what it is. This tank has nothing in it. I took out all of the Missouri crowns yesterday and put them into the tank above. I do have a plan for this tank, and I think, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and breed my own red galaxy in this tank. We're going to take Galaxy Fishbone, a female, Put her into this tank, and then we're going to take a German spotted head Pinto, a red one, and we're going to put that into this tank as well, and we're going to see what happens. All the shrimp are up here, you'll see. Up there, you'll see them in a second. This is my black fancy tigers. Guys, these are doing so good in here. I think if anything, I'm still a little bit guilty of overfeeding. This tank is probably one of the ones as well where we should increase the water changes just a little bit. As you can see what I mean here, like 24th of the 1st, it is the 18th of the 2nd, right? So I'm not doing enough water changes, so that's why the big change to this up here, just to try and give me that little bit more water to play with, make it a little bit faster, and make it warm up a little bit easier for these shrimp, right? Because you can see here there's a lot of babies in this tank, but guys, they're so small. Most of them are still under a centimeter, and they've been in here for, I don't know, months, probably months. Right, the next tank, guys, doesn't look like much because it just has all my Marissa snails in it. I didn't want to put my big giant crayfish into this tank because the crayfish would literally destroy these snails, right? I thought it'd be a little bit cruel putting them in for them just to be eaten. So my painted fire red, my own blue rillies that are in here from my painted fire reds are still in here. They're just, you can't really see much. Next tank is the mixed tank. This bit here. Oh, look at them. Oh, look at all these shrimp. There's a lot of shrimp in this tank now. There's baby shrimp all over the place in the gravel. This tank is still relatively quite young. It's only, I think it's about 4 months old now, this tank, right? So we've seen the start of our baby boom in here. The shrimp all over the place. Like, if you could see on the filters, the GoPro is like mega awful for seeing them closely, but if you have a good eye, you can probably see there's like black King Kongs everywhere in this tank. Little blue bolts. The tank itself is doing amazingly good. It's really lush with plants. Let me show you the Aqua Synergy thing that I've talked about before in my videos and stuff. This stuff, guys, is really good. I've been using it at like a quarter of the dose, and I'm seeing insane plant growth, right? So this stuff was kind of expensive for me to get, but if it stays insane, the plant growth that is, not my hair, because you guys will know I'm kind of bald, if it stays insanely good as it is, this will be worth me paying the bigger bucks for, because it wasn't cheap for me to get this into Norway. It was something like $90 for 1 litre, 90. If you live in Holland, you can get 5 litres for the same price. Right, so I'll have to come to some kind of agreement with the guy that sells this stuff, because I'm promoting his stuff. I think this stuff is really good. But don't just take my word for it, because we have some other things to show you. Come on, Mark. Don't talk too long. This is what I mean, guys. This is Salvinia. Look at the growth. It is really thick, lush growth. It's actually bunching up on itself. It's so thick and lush. And it's like this in all of the tanks. You can see my redwood floaters doing amazingly good. Look at the growth. Doing awesome. Right, here's a tank you guys haven't seen for a long time because I've been fixing it up. This was the jar that we did a long time ago. We added a light to it. It's been like this for about 2 weeks. You might have seen it on my stream. Sunset High Grow is an absolutely amazingly gorgeous looking plant to look at. And that's why I did this. It's maybe a little bit overexposed for this GoPro. I didn't want to put a filter in it, but because there is some shrimp in here, I thought I'd better put something in it. Because I didn't have a filter in it before and the shrimp just didn't last, right? So you can see now the Sunset High Grow is just starting to go pink on the tips. So that means that the conditions in this tank are really good. I treat this tank just the same as the others now. It gets a 10% water change every week, and the water is dripped back in, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens in here with the shrimp, because I did put in some orange-eyed blue tigers. Lovely calisio. Did we talk about the calisio today? I can't remember. Look at that awful glare. Calisio doing awesome. Some leftovers from my Mark shrimp tanks Nettle mix. This is the stuff that's not been dried, but I still use it. Probably see over here. And here you can see where the the cray-crays, grab it. And yeah, it's good stuff. I'm making a big fresh batch of it, guys. You want to see? You want to see my nettle mix when it's being made? A lot of you ask me how I make my nettle mix. This is how I dry it. I'm probably never going to show you guys exactly how I make this, but yeah, because I earn some money from making my own food and whatnot, right? So, guys, please let me have this one thing to myself. Let's go over to this tank, this rack. You've already seen this stuff. It made a massive difference. Opa Uli. Tank is always mega green in here. Needs a little bit of a top up. I actually did feed them yesterday. They have lots of little babies flying all over the place. Sulawesi. What can I say about this tank? What can I say? There's bazillions of babies all over the place in the gravel in here. I recently gave my friend Peter some of these as well. They were an absolute nightmare to catch. Yeah, the other thing I've done with this, guys, as well, is that I'm actually starting to increase the water changes, and I think it is making a difference, right? There's a lot of young in here that are becoming braver and braver. Like, they're all over the place. All over everything that you look at in the tank. Like, if you can see down here, if we just hold the camera still enough for a second, you'll be able to see. And the difference with this, guys, is I'm doing 5% water change almost every other day in this tank, right? So 5%, 10%, sorry. 10% just gets dripped straight into the tank here. 10% every other day, and it seems to be making a difference. We will see. We will see. This is my blue dream tank that needs culled. You see some red shrimp there. We actually did a good water change and clean up of this tank the last time you saw it, and it's all grown back again. The stuff that was dying has grown back greener than ever, but the plants that are in here are actually growing as well, right? So it's only a matter of time before the plants in the tank start to outcompete all this algae, because that's all it is. Shrimp there, lots and lots of babies. Green jades. Probably one of my least successful tanks, but again, guys, I'm trying with these two tanks to just try and do a water change every other day, and we're seeing if it's going to make any difference. Fingers crossed it does. Alright, let me see. Beautiful, beautiful super crystal red tank. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the plant growth. It's all thanks to the soil, master soil, and the aqua synergy stuff I was showing you before. Look at all the babies. We actually have a couple of them that are pure red, guys. If any of you know in the comment section, let me know what the pure red ones are from super crystal reds, because I don't know what they're called. Lots and lots of babies. You can see them, the pure red ones. I have like maybe 4 or 5 of them in this tank. Lots of babies. I'm actually starting to see the odd ones that look like your standard crystals, so I'm not sure what they are actually. No, super crystal reds, where do they come from? Do they come from pure red line? I would imagine they would, to be this kind of pure red line, right? So could I start my own pure red line colony from the crystals that come from this? Maybe his eyes, maybe his nose. Let me know in the comment section below as well. Lovely, lovely plant growth, hornwort, lots of moss, double filtration, Asian style filter. Tank next to it is very, very similar. Tons of hornwort as well. Lots of blue boltus. That's actually a blue steel. That one that went around the corner. This one. You can see how its head is so dark, its body is white. It's a blue steel. Yeah, because mines are all mixed. Lots of leaves. Different grading of, what would you call them? Decomposition with the leaves in the tank. Some are almost a skeleton, some are not. That's what you want. Lots of moss. Again, the Asian style filter. I'm going to pan out here just a bit, because we'll make this lovely little picture here my thumbnail. And there you go, guys, that is my video for today. Hope you've enjoyed this little quick tour. My god, I'm so out of breath. Probably won't cut this either. 25 minutes, oh my god, it's better than like an hour for this kind of video. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please leave a like, please subscribe if you haven't already, and guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Love you all, bye.